Hi friends, welcome back to Al's Playworld, bringing you some more Heroes of the Storm, continuing our coverage of the ESL playoffs. It is Game 2 between G2.Kinguin and of course Team Roccat from Poland. Let's look at who we have here. G2 rocking Tyrael, Raynor, Illidan, Murin, and Uther. Roccat, of course, rocking Karazim, Nuvarak, Vala, Johanna, and Jaina. You'll notice there that what's on the score screen does not reflect what's up on the left and right of your screen as far as what the teams are. I don't know why the replay UI gets them confused there, but of course we're spawning here in the Cursed Hollow, a pretty good map. 3 lanes. The main objective here is to grab tributes. Once you have 3 tributes, the enemy team becomes cursed, which means their forts and towers will not fire any ammo, and their minions will be reduced to 1 hit point, which means you can push further aggressively. In the mid lane, Team Roccat here, of course, the red team from Poland, moving in really aggressively all together. Karazim grabbing that vision. Of course, you see there Murin and Illidan doing the same for the opposite team. It looks like they're going to try to go in here again. Notice the positioning from Jaina, really good stuff. She's staying way back here in case she needs to go in for a poke, but just far away enough to where she can run away if they get jumped on. It looks like Murin sort of hanging out down here. He's going to try to go for a bush. He is actually sort of indicating that's where he's going to be hanging out. And Uther and Raynor on the bottom lane. Of course, everybody really split up. However, Roccat continue to push here. They're already clear the first lane. Vala heading down, goes the smart way, and does not run into Murin or any trouble. And of course, a heavy rotation to the top lane. It looks like Illidan is going to see that. He's going to back away, saying, you know what, I want none of that. He's going to try to stay within range to get a little bit of XP, but he's going to let them clear this because Jaina, well, supported by 2 tanks, way too much wave clear. And they're actually going to go for an early tower push. Tons of damage going on the Blizzard. The Impale looks like Illidan does do that dive over to Jaina, does a little bit of poke damage, and then slows him down. He gets blinded. Here comes Murin doing a ton of damage, and Uther to try to help out Illidan, diving over to try to get to Karazim. Great stun there on Karazim, who actually has to dash away in that Breath of Heaven, picking him back up. But of course, Jaina continued to Blizzard and just completely clearing these enemy, these minions because of the fact that Johanna has a lot of wave clear as well. Let's go ahead and look at the talents that they're building. You can see there, lots of regeneration master going up. Hungry arrow build for Vala. That Night Take spawn, the pick from Johanna, is going to be doing a lot of wave clear. It looks like Illidan continuing to poke. He is going to get chased here by the monk, who's going to start doing a little bit of poke damage. Of course, Jaina continues to damage that tower. It looks like she is going to back away. Great stun from Uther. Gets picked up, but of course, Karazim forced to dash away. Illidan jumping away. Great damage there from the Blizzard. And we force the blue team to go back, and the monk continue to attack here, doing a little bit of healing. They do push those guys back, and of course Johanna continuing to do that condemn, continue to get those minions really low so Jaina can continue to do damage and continue this pressure. They do take a fort, which is going to give them a little bit of, a tower. It's going to give them 400 XP right there, and the other tower already out of ammo. Great pressure in the top lane. In the middle lane, it looks like Tyrael and Nuvarak having a little bit of a poke contest here. There's not much else going on. And in the bottom lane, of course, Vala waiting in the bush for that Raynor to come in and begin to clear stuff. It looks like she's going to chunk him really hard with that Hunger and Arrow, forcing him back immediately. Tons of damage going out. Of course, here in the top lane, Johanna being really aggressive. It's actually going to go all the way to their giants, but it doesn't look like she's going to be doing anything else. Just kind of scaring Murin away, and now she's going to run away. Of course, that vision remaining in the enemy team's hands. Murin going here to contest that, and Johanna doesn't really want anything else to do that. On the top lane, Jaina and Karazim continue to push. Here comes Johanna as well. Murin joining in on the back. He does get hit by a Frostbolt. Tons of damage. That double Blizzard almost hit him, but he does manage to get away. Karazim diving in, doing a ton of damage, gets stunned, and managing to dash away at the last second before too much damage was done. They do grab the second tower. Of course, Illidan grabbing those bruisers, and the first 3 of the game spawning here on the top lane in 15 seconds. It looks like the top lane really aggressively push. Murin and Uther don't have the best wave clear, so they're going to be forced to sort of sit here and deal with it. Tyrael already coming back, trying to do a little bit of poke damage, but Jaina does grab him with a Frostbolt, as well as Murin, slowing them down, basically slowing the advance. Here comes a new Nuvarak, misses the Impale, but it's beginning to zone really effectively. The sword goes out from Tyrael. He can go back in there to basically distract if he can. Lots of poking. Jaina trying to get on Uther. Uther throwing out some heals and offensive damage there as they continue to zone. Karazim about to grab this. It looks like Illidan and Raynor really late, but great job on the blue team from the lane. This trig for as long as they have. Jaina does miss the Frostbolt, though. He does land the Cone of Cold. And here comes the cavalry finally engaging. Raynor begins to do a little bit of poke damage there on Johanna. Uther gets caught on the Impale, and oh, Murin really low, but manages to jump away. He does get the stone there on Johanna. Karazim about to grab the tribute a little too late as the blue team begins to poke. Good smite, and now they're continuing to stall here, while meanwhile in the bottom lane, Illidan is continuing to grab a little bit of XP in the lead. Great stun there from Murin on the Thundercloud. The stun from Uther, tons of damage. The monk about to go down, manages to dash away, and now Tyrael taking a lot of punishment for that. They don't get the kill. Both tanks really low, and it looks like the red team's going to come in here and be dominant and grab that first tribute as a Nuvarak collects it, although they are also very low on health and mana, so they're going to be want to back up. Looks like Illidan down here in the bottom lane pushing really aggressively. Vala doing a little bit of a trade there. Got evasion. It's going to help him stay alive, but now he's really low on health. is going to have to buck away as Vala can do a ton of damage. In fact, let's just go ahead and look at the damage so far. Hero damage was Reina 4,000. Of course, the enemy Jaina, the red Jaina, at 7,000 damage so far. That's incredible. Of course, siege damage as well. Vala 15,000 and the blue Illidan at 11,000, almost 12,000. Let's go back to the builds real quick just so you can see what's going on. It looks like the middle lane a little bit passive here. Everything falling sort of back to a normal rhythm as both teams are sort of trying to soak a little bit of XP and get some camps. It looks like Uther just sort of hanging out here, opting not to grab this yet. I don't know if this is an actual strategic move or they're trying to do something goofy, but they're not grabbing that. Maybe they're waiting for the next route to spawn so they can grab these and nobody will counter push these. It looks like that's what they were doing. Uther's going to go ahead and grab those now. Everybody has to cycle back to the bottom lane. And Uberak getting caught a little bit out of position, but nobody notices. And of course, Johanna and Tyrell here in the mid lane having a little bit of exchange of words, but nothing too major. And now we're going to head down there with Vala doing a ton of damage to Murden. She does get stunned, but great damage. Harass is going to get her out of the way. It looks like Tyrell going really deep, takes a ton of damage. Forced to use that sword just to get out, and of course carries him securing the second tribute, no problem. That's 2-3 for Roccat. That means the next time if they get it, they're going to get a curse on Team G2, and that's going to be a little regrettable for them because they're going to be struggling to push that back. It looks like Anubarak taking a little bit of damage here. He's going to be forced back a little bit, but not too aggressive. These guys are really not making his life uncomfortable. On the top lane, Johanna and Murden having some words. Murden trying to keep those guys alive, but Johanna doing enough damage to basically soften these guys up, keep those mercenaries completely out of the fight, and clear the way before they can do any actual damage to the towers. It looks like Merton really can't do much about it. He's going to walk away. You can see there, Sports Billy and Chris clearing out the Bruiser camp in the middle. And, of course, on the bottom lane, Illidan, Raynor, and Uther doing a really strong push. They're going to get the second tower and the gate. Tons of damage going out. Jaina trying to poke a little bit, but really not enough. And waiting for her teammates to come down here. It looks like they might get the well here as well. Tons of damage going down from the Blizzard. Yeah, it looks like Raynor shoots the well just in the nick of time. That Frostbolt misses, but the Kona Cold, tons of damage in Illidan. Here comes the Impale. Tons of CC from Nurek, who gets pushed back. Now Illidan chasing really deeply. He doesn't have an escape. Great stuff from Uther on Raynor. Tons of damage going out. They do pick up the kill. Illidan walks away, and Jaina very low at the same time. Pretty interesting stuff. It looks like finally we do have a level 10 from G2.Kinguin. As you can see there, we have Judgment, Hyperion, Metamorphosis, Avatar, and Divine Shield. Really interesting stuff just in time for the tribute. However, Roccat grabbing the same thing. You have 7-sided Strike. We have Cocoon, we have Strafe, Blessed Shield, and of course Water Elemental, which is an interesting choice with these same composition. Looks like Kerosene running into Tyrael there is going to begin to do a lot of damage. The Smite just to run him out, and Illidan doing a good job of zoning. They do grab the tribute. That's 1 tribute to 2, which means they're going to survive for a little bit longer. Going to give themselves a little bit of breathing room. Here in the middle lane, Tyrael trying to do a little bit of poke and push this wave back. He's going to be able to do just that. The red team a little bit apprehensive. Roccat doesn't want to go in there. Great move here. They're trying to get the boss. It looks like Anubarak spots that, begins to tell his friendly team they're going to be forced to abandon that unless they want to basically go into the throw pit. And of course, now everybody walking away. Great engagement from Jaina. However, Illidan going beyond her. The Judgment comes out, stun. Tons of damage. Here comes the Metamorphosis. She gets the leader from existence, and now he's jumping on Vala. However, Tyrael gets taken down too. Not even a big deal though, because Vala is about to get taken down. She does strafe the other way, manages to get out of the way. Can Illidan catch up to her? I don't think he can. Vala's going to be able to basically just sneak out of here in the nick of time. And of course, the Anubarak turning coming for the flank. Oh, Illidan maybe chased a little too deep. Great Hunger and Arrow is going to do a little bit of poke damage. And of course, he has this friendly team to back up here. But the next tribute spawning in the middle right. And of course, as you can see there, Roccat only needs 1 more for the curse, so that means they're going to reposition themselves. They're going to try to stop this, and G2.Kinguin forced to make a play here or get cursed. Great stun of Anubarak. Raynor begins to do a little bit of poke damage, and here comes the engagement. Tons of damage going down there on Murden, which is the front line. He does dive, and of course Anubarak about to die, but tons of damage going out. The D-Shield on Murden, saving his life. Great stun of Anubarak, but he is forced back as he begins to heal. The Water Elemental trying to do a little bit of assistance here. 7-sided Strike goes down. Not much damage, though, and of course G2 is going to be forced to do a little bit of a retreat here. Raynor going to poke. Great Q to prevent the turn-in, and begins to do a little bit of poke damage, but really, really scared of that poke because every time he steps in, Jaina and Anubarak about to make a play. Here comes the next attack. It looks like Vala psyched herself out. She thought the next attack was going, and she moved. Here comes Anubarak, great Impale. However, Uther delaying the hand in, and another great stun of Anubarak. Here comes Illidan diving, tons of damage. The Blizzard falling on Murden, not even a big deal. And of course, the Judgment right there in the back line. Looks like Anubarak's about to fall down. Vala in a lot of trouble as Illidan continues to pursue. Great double stun. Jaina gets left behind. She gets taken down. Now Vala really low on health, gets taken down. The Metamorphosis, just the icing on the cake, and G2 completely obliterates everybody but Johanna. They grab the tribute, and now they're going to make an aggressive gesture and come here and take their boss. Meanwhile, Johanna just going back home and going like, well, that didn't go well for myself, so I'll hang out back here for a moment and let them secure that boss. Not much else to do there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the damage so far. Of course, Rainer leading the pack with 17,000 on a G2.Kinguin side. But Jaina 22,000, not too bad at all. 7 kills to 6 so far. No, sorry, 7 kills to 2. 6-4 to each. I can't read this UI yet. And it looks like just in the nick of time they grabbed the boss, and now they're going to continue to push the top lane. And Uberek trying to do a little bit of damage there. Does get an impale. Illidan a little low, but of course he does have Uther heal him. Here comes the Blizzard doing quite a little bit of damage, and Johanna trying to push back and zone these guys out so his teammate can deal with the boss. But of course, G2 knows they've done the damage. They got the boss. They're going to let them deal with it. And a smart move, some might say, might have been to go for the other boss. They didn't really do it now, a little late. But they are going to go and pick up some mercenary camps here in the middle. After, of course, Roccat completely dealt with that thing. Almost killed the fort, but not quite. Not too much of a loss. They are going to counter push you in the top lane and force either a response or at the very least get a fort or even things out, because they really don't want to do that. Here comes Rainer, of course, the pincer maneuver from Tyrael and Illidan in the bottom lane. Great Impale's going to slow Rainer, and they jump in on the tanks, but really not enough. The water elemental just sticking to Tyrael like hot glue. Here comes great engagement, the Judgment following up, all that up, and of course, 7-sided strike doing a ton of damage. Great exchange to Hyperion going back. The water elemental trying to slow down Merton in a lot of trouble, really low on health. He did use his sleep, he can't get out, but he is going to just walk away because it looks like Roccat did not want to commit through all that AoE. Barely in the nick of time. However, 2 tributes to 2 spawning here in the top lane immediately following that fight. Of course, you see there all the heroics on cooldowns. Big engagement there. No, that's just minions. It looks like they're going to try to deal with those giants as they poke in here. And of course, G2 trying to regroup. It looks like Tyrael and Meriden went back for the well. It looks a great cone of coal there. Going to start hitting it. And of course, they grab the tribute before anything goes down. It looks like the first curse of the game goes for Roccat. And now G2 forced to kind of defend a little bit. They're going to have to deal with these minion waves. Luckily for them, none of the lanes were severely pushed. However, that bottom lane looking a little disastrous right about now. Those towers are going to begin to go down. And on the top lane as well, that fort was already kind of low. Johanna just babysitting those guys. And Roccat wondering what they're going to do. It looks like they're going to commit here to the middle lane and just push this to begin to get some towers, get a little bit of an XP advantage. Of course, here in the top lane, they're going to get that as well, pretty much for free. In the bottom lane, they're finally sort of dealt with the majority of the push. Of course, they're still sort of doing a little bit of damage, but now they're sort of recycling here to the middle. Tyrael and Meriden versus 3 members of Team Roccat. It looks like Vala just doing a ton of damage, poking and prodding, and here come Illidan and Uther as well to reinforce. And it's not really enough. They're going to try to defend here. Here comes Jaina as well. She begins to destroy the wall. Great engagement there from Johanna. And Impale catches 2 members of the enemy team, but really not much. Great stun. Now Illidan begins to engage the Blizzard, zoning them back out. Here goes the Water Elemental. The Cocoon target pretty much wasted. And a great kill there on Illidan before he could react. They didn't even see it. Good stun on Kerosene, but Uther really low on health. Great 7-sided strike. Gonna force things back, and now Meriden in a lot of trouble. He's going back here, keeps getting poked. Great Blizzard, and Vala sticking to him like hot glue. Dead hair. Anubarak goes down as well, and it looks like now Tyrael in a lot of trouble. The fort goes down. Everybody on G2 really low, and Kerosene continue to push here, and it looks like they managed to basically get out of the way at the last second, but of course, the damage is done. They get the kills, they get the fort, and now they're just gonna walk away. Let's go ahead and take a look at the talents so far to see if there's anything interesting going on. It looks like Johanna going for that heavy Condemn build with, of course, that Burning Rage. Great use of the Q build there. Vala does an absurd amount of damage, as you can see. And Uberek going for a pretty standard build. And, of course, the Monk going supported with 7-sided strike, which I always appreciate. Jaina, to be expected, AoE and Water Elemental. Uther pretty much straightforward. Meriden going for that perfect Storm Sledgehammer Piercing Bolt build. The pretty interesting stuff. And, of course, the rest of the guys going pretty standard, I would say. Rainer opting to go for that giant killer, so he's not going to be going double stun. Not a big deal. He's basically going to take advantage of the fact that he has a lot of stuns on his team to try to do a lot of damage. Alright, big engagement here, and Uberek trying to poke a little bit. It looks like they're basically just going to zone him out. They do grab the boss, G2, which is a big win for them. They definitely needed something. Jaina getting engaged. Their Metamorphosis coming out. She does pop the Ice Block. However, Tyrael already surrounded. Great judgment at point-blank range. It's not even necessary. She does go down, and of course, Roccat forced to fall back. The boss down here in the bottom lane beginning to push, doing a ton of damage. Rainer's going to use that Q to basically shove these guys back. And look at this. They're actually going to go for the Giants. Pretty bold move. The enemy team did fall back. They're going to be able to secure that relatively quickly. And now not only are they going to have a boss, but they're also going to have these Giants throwing mighty boulders at those towers, forcing the engage. A great job there from Johanna to try to poke. Of course, Illidan taking a lot of damage, being forced back momentarily, as well as Meriden trying to wait for that third healing second wind thing to kick in. Looks at tons of damage. One tower already down. The boss plus these giants does so much siege damage that Rocket's just forced to basically try to poke and walk away. Great stun on Vala. Here comes the Hyperion. Johanna jumping in with that D, but tons of damage. And Karasim almost gets stunned there by the boss, managing to dash at the last second. And here we go, trying to do as much damage as they can to the boss. However, the keep does go down already, and that's all they need to do. It looks like G2 is going to count their blessings and walk away. Rocket dealing with the remnants of the boss here, who is not going to get the tower, and these giants are just going to get taken down immediately. But the damage is done. That means catapults in the bottom lane for G2 as the next tribute spawns. Of course, this middle push kind of strong. They might lose the second tower. They're probably not going to lose the keep. But if they're able to grab this tribute, that means they're going to get a curse. And all of a sudden, tables turned. Meriden missing that Stormbolt, getting pushed back. It looks like Johanna trying to go in here. Tyrael doing a little bit of damage. Good sandwich there, as they're basically a little bit divided. Okay, Anubarak doing an impale, trying to slow the hand in, but he's in a little bit of trouble. Tons of damage going down for the Blizzard. Meriden forced to walk away. 7-sided strike coming out. Oh, the great stun. And here comes the judgment on Anubarak. Tons of damage. He's trying to get away. He does burrow in the nick of time. Now Johanna really low, gets stunned, gets taken down. Illidan jumping over Jaina, just focusing her down. Continue to chase, and there goes the kill. And Jaina carries him out of position, gets taken down. Taken down as well. And Vala takes out Tyrael, but gets stunned in return and then killed. And now Tyrael is going to try to blow up on Anubarak. Does not happen. That is one of the big side effects of not actually having Divine Palm as the monk, man. You get taken down, and there's nothing you can do. Looks like they are opting to go for core here immediately. 30 seconds before the majority of the red team is back. Rocket trying to deal with that. It looks, of course, like Anubarak is going to try to here. He does do an impale, does a little bit of damage, trying to focus on Anubarak, tries to go back in the back line. Derainer gets stunned, but too much damage. He's not really going to be able to defend this in time, and that is going to be 40% core health. The Hyperion coming out, that pretty much guarantees the kill, and Anubarak is just not enough. GG! It looks like G2 takes game 2. My name is Al. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time for game 3.